Hi, let's learn something fun today. We're going to look at a concept where we're going to look at same word, but it has different pronunciations and different meanings altogether, right? And we'll talk about what that is shortly. Hi, I'm Ajit from Capshine. Capshine is a revolutionary learn it together English fluency program. Through Capshine, learning is easy, quick, fun, affordable, and effective. With Capshine, we promise a whole new you in 6 months or less. Let's look at what we have today. So I told you that we're going to look at words that have very different, same word but different meanings and different pronunciations. Well, these are called heteronyms, right? It's a big word in itself. So essentially, these are words that have different meanings and different pronunciations. Well, why is this the case? It's a long story, but let's look at some examples first, shall we? So the first set of words is the word lead. There are two meanings to this and that, right? And I'm sure you can guess what or how each of this is pronounced. So the first one is pronounced lead. It's a metal. Usually we say, the lead pencil, right? It doesn't really have lead, but we call it lead pencil. Lead, the metal. It's also a very poisonous metal. They used to add this in petroleum and it was very bad. So lead, and this is to lead someone. To be a leader is to lead. So same word, but different meanings and different pronunciations, right? Let's look at a few more. So we have bass, and you'd say, okay, there's only one way to pronounce it, but there are actually two ways to pronounce it. So the fish and the instrument, or a type of instrument or a sound. So that's bass, the fish. It's a kind of fish, bass. On the other hand, you have bass. For example, if you have a subwoofer, that's bass. If you're listening to drums or you like percussion, that's bass. It's still spelled bass, but it's pronounced base or bass, right? Fun, right? Let's look at another set. close. So if you are, for example, if you want to close the door, you pronounce it with a Z. Close the door. Please close the door for me. Or if something is close, something is near, right? So please close the door for me because you're close to the door, right? Close is to the opposite of open, close with a Z, and near or close with an S. Same word, but different meanings and different pronunciations. content, and we all pronounce this as content, but you may be wrong half the time. Let's see why. So here is a guy who is happy with his life, right? He's content. So content, and look at the stress here. Content, the pronunciation is stressed towards the second part or the second syllable. Content, which is to be happy and satisfied. You're peaceful and generally someone like that. Content. But if you're talking about content and the pronunciation stress is there, you're talking about stuff that you watch and consume. There's a lot of content on Netflix. Kranti is a content manager, right? Content, stuff that you consume or produce is content. Right now, the video you're watching is content on YouTube. So that's content and not content. Great. That said, if you want to learn how to pronounce words correctly, build your vocabulary and become a powerful speaker, make sure you try out the 30-day free trial with the Capshine membership. With this, you get speaking opportunities so you can improve your confidence and fluency. You get a personal coach who gives you feedback and who gives you a report on what you need to do every month to become a better speaker and user of the language. And of course, as part of the membership, you get daily micro lessons to work on your English every single day and access to live classes where you can build your foundation over week after week. Let's continue with these heteronyms, shall we? The next word is produce. And you'd say, it's only pronounced produce. Again, you'd be right half of the time. So there is that to create something, which is produce, the stress being when produce, which is to create or make something. But there is also the end product, right? For example, farm produce. farm produce, or let's say that there is a cattle farm and there is milk and there is cheese. These are produce, the end results that come out of creating something, right? Produce, usually used in reference to food produce, right? Produce. So same word, different meanings altogether. A fun sentence here is that there was a failure to produce produce at the dairy farm, right? Try that out. That's a tongue twister for you. Present. Again, you would have heard the word present, but there are two different meanings and two different pronunciations here. So here, someone is presenting something just as I am, right? So that's present. Present. A presentation, right? Present. So that's an action. That's a verb. But if you give a gift to someone, then you're giving them a present. Present, right? A present is a gift. Notice the stress on the first syllable there. Notice the stress on the second syllable there. To present something, to give a presentation, or to get a present from your friend. Contract. And you'd be like, yeah, I know what this word means, but it actually has two meanings. On one side, or I was going to say one eye, right? Your eyes, your pupil, they expand and they contract, right? Contract. So they shrink, they become smaller, contract. So that's a verb, right? That's an action. When glass is cooled, it contracts. On the other hand, if it's a contract, it's an agreement. It's the contract that you sign when you lease a home or when you join a new job. Contract, that's a noun, right? It shows agreement. It shows that you're in it together. Contract. So contract as a verb, contract as a noun, which means agreement. And of course, windy. Again, you probably know windy, which means there's a lot of wind outside. It's windy, like that. And that's the correct pronunciation, windy, windy. But if you see a situation like that, for example, you're going to Ooty or one of these hill stations, and you have these very convoluted, twisty roads, then you would call it windy, right? Windy, which essentially means with a lot of twists and turns. You might have also heard of the word to wind something up, right? To wind up something, which also means that to turn it, right? So wind or windy means having a lot of twists and turns. Windy means, well, having a lot of wind. Same word, different meanings, different pronunciations. Great. I hope you found this video useful. If you liked it, make sure you like and subscribe. Click the bell icon as well to not miss any new updates like these. And don't forget to try out the 30-day free trial with Capshine membership, right? And you can do that by going to capshine.com or downloading the app. Thanks for watching.